Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net on Wednesday the 4th of June. Thanks again for watching. You can see freshly returned from the cricket and well, let's not just go there, shall we? Let's not just talk about it. It looks as if we have got some better weather conditions on their way next week. I know many of you farmers who are watching this looking for weather windows of 3 and 4 days. And incidentally, if you look at farmersweather.co.uk, we do a special video every day on there, which is brought to you with Farmers Guardian, updating you on the detailed forecast for farmers. But I know many of you look at this for some in-depth technical detail, and it does look as if we are going to get some dry weather next week, but it's not clear cut because we've got some cooler air that's stuck in at higher levels. Now what happens is that when we get an increase in temperature at low levels but cooler air is stuck at high levels, it means that the atmosphere is in what we call an unstable state. That means that we get big cumulus clouds forming, and it's cumulus that generates showers. So there's always this threat of showers around even during next week. But some fascinating stuff to show you coming in from the MJO as well. And this is the MJO forecast from Kyle McRitchie's site, and it's from the CFS. So it's based on the CFS, and what this shows us is the coloured colours are the forecasts of the various different ensemble members of the MJO. And what to notice here is around about the 9th, the CFS predicts that we're coming into phase 2. It's quite neutral though, being within this centre circle. So it's quite neutral, but it does, you can see there, head its way out of the centre circle through phases 3, phases 4 and eventually into phase 5. But it's this phase 3 and phase 4 that I'm particularly interested in, because if we take a look at what the Climate Prediction Centre in the States is suggesting on their side, this is the ECMWF from the 2nd of June, and it goes forward to the 4th of July. And the green colour here, the green line, is the line to be watching on this one. You notice here, look, it's coming out of stage 2, stage 3, 4, away from neutral, you can see there, before kind of spiralling in on phase 5. But what's interesting here is this here coming into phase 3 is the period around the 9th of June, and then it takes us 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You see, you get even counting on this service as well. But this takes us to the 17th here, where we then go into phase 4. So interesting to see exactly what goes on with these phases. What conditions do phase 3 and phase 4 of the MJO bring us? Well, before I show you that, let me just show you the forecasts for the comparison between the various different models, the forecast for the next 10 days or so. So this is a 72-hour forecast. This is from meteocenter.com, and what we have here is the Canadian CMC. Here we've got the GFS ensemble here, ECMWF here, and we've got the UK Met Office here. And this is the forecast for midnight on Saturday. Notice the big trough to the west of the UK. Look, we've got it on the CMC, the GFS. Also got it here showing up, look, on the ECMWF and on the UKMO as well. So actually some reasonable agreement between them, but some interesting subtleties just to notice, a little bit of differences, particularly in the ridge that's across heading into southern parts of Germany there. You notice how the ECMWF makes more of a bulge feature of it, and the GFS does something similar as well, but we're flattened off on the Canadian and on the UK Met Office model, indicating that this trough up towards the north, this little low that you can see here, is being diagnosed a little bit differently by both of those models, or by all of the various different models. Now, if we then go forward a couple of days, so we go on to 120 hours, and this is then valid for midnight on Monday the 9th. So remember what we were saying there about getting into phase 3 as far as the ECMWF saw it, but actually it was slipping into a phase 2 from the CFS, although nothing particularly very strong. So let's pick up on the ECMWF, and what we got here, look, trough still to the west of the UK on the Canadian. It's there as well on the GFS. Way more elongated trough showing up on the ECMWF, and it's making more as well of the ridge feature trying to get in across Central Europe. Look, but still we've got this cold pool just centred to the east of Finland. And the UK Met Office again has got the feature out there, that trough. Can't get the ridge building as far north because it makes more of the trough off here. So starting to see some subtle differences by the time we're getting into the 9th. Let's now just skip forwards. Now we don't get a Met Office chart for 240 hours because the model doesn't go ahead that far. So we've got Canadian, we've got GFS, and we've got ECMWF when we're looking this far ahead. This is where things get really interesting because look, the Canadians are seeing a ridge. Okay, the ECMWF is also seeing a ridge, although it tries to model in a few troughs in there as well, which would indicate some thundery activity. By the way, this is for Saturday the 14th. The GFS, look, has a trough in there, and it just modelled away the ridge completely. So it tries to put the trough in there. It's actually squeezed out the ridge here towards the east. So the two favoured options at the moment are the Canadian and the ECMWF. And as I said to you about this idea of the high building in next week, things becoming drier, although I think we do need to take notice of what the ECMWF is trying to do here in bringing those thundery troughs into central parts of France and off the western coast of Portugal. Because what could happen there is that they could move northwards, bring some thundery rain for particularly the south of the UK into the weekend after next. Now, remember that pattern, and let me just show you what the phases of the the MJO are normally like. So this is phase 3, and you've got to tilt your head because the UK is underneath here. So this is phase 3, but look, it has higher than normal heights to the south, lower than normal heights to the north, and it has a west to southwesterly jet. So let's just go back and take a look and see what we have on here. So we're going to go back by a few days. We'll actually go to 144 hours because that shows it better. And, well, look, the GFS trying to pick up, look, on this west to southwesterly flow here. Also got it on the Canadian. That's also trying to show it as well. The UK Met Office doesn't show it quite so well, and the ECMWF has got more of an elongated trough on there, but there's still some signs of it being in there. Now let me just show you what phase 4 does. Phase 4 develops low pressure off towards the east, higher than normal heights off towards the west, so it builds in a ridge in that shape. So it's trying to build the ridge into that shape that you see there. Now compare that with what we've just seen on the model comparisons at 240, and remember this is for the 14th of June, and there we go, look, there's the shape of the MJO. So phase 4 of the MJO, it's trying to build it in. So this builds confidence that actually we can get rid of the GFS. Although the CFS is showing us going through these phases as well, it actually makes it a little bit later. So remember we pulled it through phase 2 a little bit quicker on that one. So we pulled it through phase 2 a little bit sooner before it put it into phase 3 and phase 4 instead of that one from the ECMWF, which kind of ran it through 2 quite quickly and then put it into 3 and 4. So actually what this does is it builds our confidence that the high is going to be building in. It will be building its way northwards during the course of next week, things potentially becoming drier and also warmer. Of course the question then becomes what happens after that. But let's just look through the next few days in terms of the surface chart, see what's going on. There's the chart for tomorrow. Still got some fronts across Scotland, some pretty heavy bursts of rain affecting Scotland during tomorrow, but drier conditions down towards the south. Just can't rule out the risk of an odd shower. Friday, high pressure off towards the east here, low pressure off towards the west, little bit of rain affecting western areas, but many areas again are going to be in for a dry day. So we do still a couple of dry days there, but I know again for those of you wanting those dry days, that just isn't enough at the moment. Saturday sees the threat of some thundering, quite heavy rain moving its way eastwards during the day. Brighter, dry weather follows in from the west during the course of Saturday afternoon. Sunday, look, starting to see the high pressure building in down towards the south. Maybe a little bit of rain across East Anglia in the southeast. Also some rain still for northern Scotland. But for many, it's a largely dry day. Just a few showers out in more western areas. And then through Monday, so this is Monday the 9th, which of course we were just looking at. Look, high pressure centred in the Bay of Biscay again, low pressure off towards the west. But look, these are the showers I was telling you about, because we've got cooler air at upper levels, and that cooler air at upper levels enables these showers to still continue to develop, even though we've got high pressure building in. And then Tuesday, still got high pressure down towards the southwest, but still the risk of some showers. Wales, northern England, western parts of Scotland, Ireland as well, thanks to that cooler air up aloft. But this is the high that's trying to build in, and I think what will happen is that we'll just get a continuous pump of warm air coming northwards, and that would enable that high to build in. Now, of course, things can change. You know, the GFS may be correct and the others may be wrong, but at the moment it looks as if that high is building in, and so the drier conditions are coming in. I'm reluctant to say dry just because of this risk of showers. And then what we need to think about is the threat of some thundery rain developing over central and northern parts of France towards the end of next week, more especially into next weekend, and pushing its way northwards into the southern half of the UK, and also becoming warmer there too. So we could be looking at temperatures sort of mid to the end of next week if this southerly gets going. We could be looking at temperatures of up to 27 degrees across southern England, perhaps up to around a 24 in northern parts of Scotland. So certainly the potential for this warmer and dry weather to come through. After that, as I say, next weekend, thundery rain coming in. What happens the week after? I have a horrible feeling this low may just slip its way eastwards, bring in a northeasterly for a time with some more rain across southern and eastern parts of the country. But then we look towards the west for high pressure to try and get back in, perhaps bringing a better spell of weather from around, and this is very, very roughly, from around the 21st onwards, perhaps through till around the 27th. Could be a few showers in there, and it may be that it's a cooler spell of weather, but still with some sunny spells around, and probably then watching from the 27th onwards for the potential for some dry conditions. But that's very much a long, long way away at this stage. So I'll leave you with that for now. Thanks again for watching, and just a reminder that weatherweb.net's kept free of charge by you. Keep coming back and using the site. So please do tell your friends about us, get them to come and use the site as well, and have a look around the charts and watch the videos. But for now, whatever you're doing, have a great day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.